Yo, what's up?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, good.
You're actually my first official 2020 student of Warcraft 3. How does that make you feel?
Very special. I'm the special guy today.
Nice. Uh, so like Warcraft 3 is going to be a little different how the process will have to go, but I guess just with the way it kind of goes, try to give me the just give me your race and then try to give me like the best rundown. That could be you can make it really quick as well, but give me like a idea of where you're kind of at skill wise. Like maybe like new to the game, maybe you're intermediate and you're like decent, or you're really good or whatever. Uh, and then yeah, and we'll talk about some ideas from there.
Yeah. Not new to the game. Like I can micro decently and stuff, but I kind of have zero concept of like what is good against what.
Okay.
Like different builds, like what like directions I should be heading based off of what the other player is doing. Yeah, I kind of mostly just build whatever feels right and try to level up my heroes. But in the end, I always lose the fight. Like it just seems like the other player is always, you know, building better stuff.
Okay.
Um,
All right. Um.
yeah, so yeah, just looking for some direction there, and
So what race do you play normally?
yeah, Night Elf is my strongest
Okay.
by far.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's is there any matchup you feel like needs the most improvement for you, or do you kind of feel like it's any matchup kind of feels the same for you?
I seem to have the hardest time against orcs, especially like Blade Master, and just getting harassed and losing to aggressive orc pressure, or like I'm not creeping fast enough or building the right army, and I think I'm going in strong because I got a couple of decent heroes, but then I just get smashed by like Bloodlust and like
Okay.
you know big beefy dudes.
Sure. So this is my opinion of Warcraft 3, and I feel like it holds true because this is not only for you, I guess, but mostly for people that are, if they watch this YouTube video and they go, if they go, this guy does or doesn't know what he's talking about. Warcraft 3, in my opinion, is a game that you can literally do anything you want as long as you can micro it for the most part.
Mhm.
Like it's not like anything, but it's pretty fucking close to that. Because there have been
Yeah.
games where, like, I mean, I just play my own style of Warcraft 3. I just do whatever I think sounds fun. I don't actually study the meta and do, like, meta cuck. Like, I'm going to play exactly how, like, the top 10 people play on W3 Champions. Like, I have to copy their
Yeah.
exact play style. And I can still, on, like, the standard BattleNet of just, like, BattleNet's ladder, I've taken a couple games off here and there off of, like, top 20 players on, like, NA. Like, which are, like... they're. I'm not saying that's like the best player ever, but it's still pretty fucking high overall. And then on W2 Champions, I've actually taken games off of like Masters players or like high diamond shit. Like we're talking like 1900 MMR or like 2K MMR almost. And so
Yeah.
I mean, anything is possible. Is all I'm trying to say. You don't have to have like studied routes and shit like that for this game. That is a fact.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's definitely the style I'm going for. But just having a better understanding of the game
yeah.
and making shit work.
Like,
Like right now, I kind of have been doing builds where it's a lot of like archer kind of focused stuff, and then healing the archers
sure.
and stuff. But sometimes I get walked all
There,
over.
I can already think of two things for Night Elf that are super good against Orc in general. Like just in general, like it doesn't have to necessarily be just against Orc, but two things you could do against Orc that would be super good would be one would be like probably like Keeper Opener with a fuckload of archers. It's actually crazy. If you can just micro archers, it's actually nuts. If you just make
Yeah.
mass archers. Another way would be if like a way you can really make it annoying for Orc is mass Druids of the Talon. I'm not gonna lie, like that shit's fun, and you can just cyclone the shit out of their army, like especially their heroes, over and over and over, and the Fairy Fire is insanely ridiculously good. There's
Oh, okay.
there's a lot of things you can do though, but I guess if you could just give me like a quick rundown of your average style, like you said you like to go archers, but what do you actually like if you could walk me through a game really quickly, like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, what do you actually do, or do you just kind of like stay on archers all game?
So lately I've been kind of messing around with staying on archers and quickly tiering up. So I'll do some kind of like aggressive creep thing. Like I'll try and creep with my um, the whoops the name is dropping me. The
Ancient of War.
building that attacks. Yeah, yeah, Ancient War.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try and creep with that and quickly get to like level 2. And then try and put some pressure on. And sometimes, if I'm lucky, they're just not ready for that, and the archers just kind of crush them. And either I'm using a Keeper of the Grove, or I'm hitting up the tavern for the Goblin Mech dude.
Tinker.
Yeah, Tinker. Um, and if I can put on some pressure and do something, then I'm quickly tiering up to tier 3, where I might get some chimeras and get some flying stuff.
Sorry, I might have heard you wrong, but do you open Tinker first then?
I have been. I've been messing around with Keeper first and Tinker first, and then following that up with the Alchemist dude.
Okay, I think Alchemist is amazing. Like if you go Acid Bomb and healing, like you can definitely heal your shit as well. You can help micro that, but that armor debuff, not only does it put a damage over time on the army, but it splashes as well. But the armor debuff is fucking crazy good. Armor debuffs in this game are nuts. They're super effective, because armor in Warcraft 3 is not exactly like armor in StarCraft, where if it says if it's like, oh, well, if my unit is supposed to do 30 damage and there's 2 armor that gets removed off of my enemy who has only 2 armor in the beginning, it doesn't mean you do 30, now 32 damage. What happens in Warcraft 3, because it's not like StarCraft. What happens instead is there's percentages in Warcraft 3. So 2 armor could be worth like maybe, I don't know exactly, maybe like 8% reduction. Like 8 armor could be worth like 35% reduction, or you can mouse over it and you can see the reductions on it, but there's percentages of reduction that it does to you. So values in this game are actually fucking insane in terms of like armor value is more value than it is in StarCraft, and negative armor debuffs are more devastating than than it would be in StarCraft. So it's cool. Totally different the way that works. And then also, I don't know if you know this, but do you know the differences of like Pierce, Magic, Normal versus things like Heavy, Light, Unarmored? No. You don't know these?
I do not.
So there's also percentage values of things that do better or worse against other things. Like, for instance, there's like in StarCraft 2 you have a lot of armor types, just like you have a lot of armor types in Warcraft 3. Like in StarCraft you have like Psionic, you have Biological, you have Structure, you have Heavy, you have Light. No, it's not Heavy, it's called Armored in StarCraft. But in Warcraft 3 you have things like Heavy, Medium, Light, Fortified, Hero, Unarmored. Like, these are all different kinds of armor types in Warcraft 3, and there are certain things that damage types that pair well, or certain damage types that pair poor with armor types. So for instance, so knowing these is going to be something you should definitely probably start committing to memory. It really makes it easy to know what is a good counter to what if you're trying to counter whatever your opponent's making. So for instance, if I'm playing Night Elf and my opponent has mass grunts, and I'm like, well, a good thing against grunts would be magic damage, because grunts have heavy armor, and magic damage is the thing that does the most bonus damage against heavy armor. Like, we're talking a huge damage increase. I think it's something like 130% damage increase. Or like, it's like 130% of what it's supposed to be. So if it does 10, it will do 13. But really, there's no 10 damage in this game. Really, a lot of damage in this game is like 20 to 40, somewhere in there on average. But the point is the magic damage will definitely be your a great go-to. It's not required, but it's probably going to give you the biggest benefits for that kind of a situation. So if you don't know what does magic damage for Night Elf, you would want to learn what does that, and that would be things like Druids of the Talon do magic damage. A Chimera does magic damage. And that's for units like in your army that auto attack. That's kind of it. Like, everything else does either something of the other realm of attack. But yeah, like, it's So if you, that's why I'm saying, like, if you were to fight against somebody who, for instance, was going for like, let's say they're going mass grunts or like a melee style, they have grunt raider or and maybe some like torn caster. You could use Druids of the Talon because not only do they do good damage against grunts, they don't do as good of damage against raider, but they also do really good damage against torn caster. If the torn caster is like ethereal, which means it's not able to, you know what I mean? Like if, when it's not able to be hit by physical shit, like that takes again bonus damage from magic. So. Like Druids of the Talon wouldn't be bad in that situation, but let's just say your opponent went for like Torn Chieftain first with like mass headhunters. Maybe not so much then about going mass Druids of the Talon, because then what Druids of the Talons are defensively is they're unarmored. So a headhunter that has a pierce damage, that pierce does bonus damage to unarmored and it does bonus damage to light. So if it's unarmored or light, fucking headhunter is gonna wreck your ass. It's gonna hit way harder. So, like, if you find combinations that make sense, you know, you can make your units feel great, and so on and so on. Like, it's just, like, you just kind of want to, like, start to kind of get more of, like, a grasp on, like, what seems to work well against what. But the beautiful thing about Warcraft 3 is you can literally make anything work against anything most of the time. Like, because, again, this game is really all about micro, and if you just have good micro, you can make a lot of shit work. So I know we're doing a lot of talking, but if you'd like, we could just run a game really fast, and I can give you some ideas of like maybe play your Night Elf against my Orc, and then like again, we're not looking obviously for like, you know, this has to be rank 1 top 10 shit here. Like it's just for the sake of improvement, right? Because I know the only reason why I have to say that is because I know everyone's gonna fucking read my ass in this video because I'm not giving information here that's literally top 10 meta. It's because it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, totally. And before we jump into a game, I did want to ask, like, how you know when you need to expand.
That you honestly don't. You don't even have to. You don't even have to. In this game, you really don't have to. If you want to, it's never bad. But you have to realize this is the concept of expanding. Let me tell you this, but let me say this first, just so we don't waste a lot of time. If you're on Battle.net, hop in and then just let me know your ID. Okay, what's
I'll chat it to you.
Okay. And then so basically if you want to expand. Okay, hold on. What's your do you know what your battle tag is? Although, you know what we could do? We could just join a channel, I think.
I just I tossed it to you on Discord.
Yeah, I don't have, I think I need your there's like a number associated with it too, isn't there?
Oh, a number.
Yeah, there's like a hashtag number because it doesn't work if you don't have a number there.
Oh, hashtag number. Oh yeah.
If you just type /join space A as well, I'll see you and I can just invite you that way. Easy peasy. Okay, I see your battle tag. Okay, I just invited you to the thingy. Okay, good shit. You're already in my party. Hell yeah, easy. All right, I'll make a game and then I'll explain expanding really fast.
Okay.
The fuck? Okay, I actually, good old Warcraft 3. I have to kick you from the team now, only because I can't actually make a game if you're in my party. This fucking game is so old school.
Yeah, that's funny.
Okay, I'm just gonna make.
I haven't actually even done this before in Warcraft 3.
Yeah, neither have I. For this type of coaching type thing.
Yeah.
All right, so. I just made a game. I just literally called it WC3. If you just go to the custom game list and you see WC3, it's a 1v1 Lost Temple game. I picked Lost Temple because I feel like it's one of the most recognizable maps in the game. So I mean, I don't know. You're probably familiar with it. If you're not, we can make something else. But long story short, yeah, if you go to custom games, you type in the filter WC3, you should see the game.
Oh, that's weird. I don't see it.
Okay. Do you want to try hosting then?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So just I don't really care what map you make. Make whatever map you feel like making, and then just let me know what the name is, and I'll try to find it. I can just actually, you know what I can do as well? I can just actually, I think I added you to the party, but I can add you to my friends list and that'll make it easier too.
Yeah.
There, I just actually added you to friends list there. So now if I make a game, I can just invite you to the game. Alright, so if you go to your friends list, you probably have a pending notification from me right now.
That's weird. Why wouldn't it show up? I'm on the. Let's see here. No, would it be in WC3 itself?
This system is awesome. It's so bad. Just type /join space A in the chat bar, so you can just join the channel A, so I can see you that way. The system is so fucking bad. I hate Warcraft 3. Like the interface.
Are you in a different realm or something?
I am on
Are you at NA or?
Oh my god, I'm actually in Europe. Okay, good coaching lesson so far. Fuck yeah. Okay, now we're good now. I should be okay now. I'm actually on NA at this point. Okay, I'll make another game and I'll invite you to it again. Okay. Oh my god.
Excuse me, Chihuahua, please.
I see you now. But now
Yeah.
my game is having some problems trying to load a game.
Okay.
There we go. Yo, Larissa, thank you very much for the bits. Yo.
Oh, nice. I see the request now.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay, sick. Yeah, I can't actually invite you as well to a game unless you're on my friends list, so I'm happy you joined it. Otherwise this wouldn't have worked. Okay, now so I'll go ahead and pick Night Elf, I'll be Orc, and then I'll explain this one final thing before we really jump into it. And in my opinion, Warcraft 3, if it really, you can do it from, you can watch somebody if you want to. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're watching like a higher level player to get like an ideal creep route where you're like, oh shit, I didn't realize you could do things that fast. That's totally fine. It's not required. It's definitely not required.
I used to do that back in the day. Like
Sure.
when they released this game, I was watching Moon.
Yeah. It's definitely not required though. If you're just wanting to play the game and have fun and just be good at it, it's not required to play like a fucking top 10 pro.
Yeah. My goal is just to not lose every game.
Yeah, that's fine. So the creep, the thing about creeping is try to kind of gauge what feels good about keeping your creeping going constantly. Like try to have no downtime essentially. And the better you can micro, the better off you're obviously going to be in terms of creeping efficiently and fast.
Yeah.
And then secondly, in terms of like expansions, if you do make an expansion early, just know you are probably going to be on defense. Like there's basically two ways to play it. There's expanding, which is going to keep you low tech for longer, and there's just teching faster, which is going to make you obviously tech way faster. And the person who techs faster is going to have the aggression on their side, because you're going to be trying to fight shit like tier 2 units with tier 1 units on average. And that also could possibly mean you're going to be fighting 2 heroes with 1 hero. So when if you expand, it's ideal for you to not be risky as fuck about it, to usually probably set up something that is like static defense related, like 1 H protector or something like that, like next to your expansion, so you don't just get fucked if you get attacked as you're expanding. But it is, I will say this, the harder way to play this game is expanding. It is literally harder. So if you want to make your life easier, just don't expand until like you have map control, when you have like maybe a level 4 hero or something, and you're already like tier 2 or even possibly tier 3, and then expand. But if you expand right off the bat with a level 1 hero, it could be fucking hard to like not die to that sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. So are you good to go? You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you do whatever you want in this game. But if you want my recommendation, actually, before I say this, let me just ask you really quick. Is there a style you play against from Orc specifically that you struggle against? If you could.
Mostly Blade Master.
Is there like a unit composition with it as well? Like, is it melee or range based?
Man, I've lost against mass grunts. I've lost against mass
Okay.
troll dudes.
All right.
Know,
I'll do.
yeah.
I'll just do a like a melee build.
Cool.
Something you're doing? Yes. Ready to work. What do you want? Work.
Ooh, ViBE, what's going on? I'm doing a Warcraft 3 coaching lesson. Warcraft 3 coach. It's the first time I've actually coached on Warcraft 3 in a long time. Because I've been getting back into this game recently myself, so it's good. It's good shit. It's fun, and I know there's.
Do people still wall off their workers like at the gold mine? Is that still a thing?
Well, I mean, for Night Elf, you don't have to worry about that, but it is a thing for you as Night Elf sometimes. If you want to wall off the side of your trees with like moonwells and an altar, you just got to be careful about not walling your hero in, because if you do that, you fuck over my Blade Master harass. Because otherwise, if your wisps are just in the open out of nowhere, if I windwalk in your base, I can be very annoying.
I see.
It's not something like that is like you can experiment with it and try it out. But it's again, it's not super required.
Yeah.
Well, I will honestly say, I think Warcraft 3, in relative terms to StarCraft 2, Warcraft 3 is way more forgiving than StarCraft is. All you have to know in Warcraft 3 is how to fucking be efficient with time in terms of creeping your hero up to level it and how to micro. Like if you can, the better you are at micro, the more you can make everything work, and it's just easy. Like it doesn't have to be super efficient about like the opening builder should obviously be a bit efficient. Like build your buildings in a way that makes sense for whatever you're gonna do.
Already fucked that up. I thought there was a tap, but there's not a tap.
It's all good. If you want my biggest recommendation for Night Elf, if you're gonna go Archer style, is you should definitely your build order should be one of your first 5 wisps should be a Ancient of War, and you should build it near wherever you're gonna creep first, and then you should build an altar, then a moonwell right after, and that way you can have one archer gets made, and then you uproot tree the Ancient of War, so you can go creep whatever you're gonna creep. Like that's a super effective way to open. But yeah, like creep routes, like again, it's just being efficient. Do whatever you think is gonna give you XP, like fast.
Yeah.
Because that is the most important part about this entire game, is how much time you either waste or you don't waste with creeping. And I would also say it's a safer option. In general, it's just a safer option to creep as well before you fight your opponent. Like, I would say I would recommend you to be the defensive player who creeps rather than the aggressive player who looks for damage in like all-in formats or fashion, basically.
Oh, interesting.
Like, don't be the guy who plays a super aggressive unless you're gonna stay like tier 1 for a long time and you're gonna do some type of a timing. Like, then that's kind of fine. But if you're gonna play styles that are like, it's like I don't plan on trying to win the game with mass archers, you definitely shouldn't be super aggressive. It'd be probably in your favor to like be a bit more creep related. The only time that changes is if let's say you scout me with a wisp and you see that I am gonna go for like a really fast expansion and you are gonna go for like tech, then yes, you can totally attack me. That makes sense then, because I'm doing something that's vulnerable early and you can punish that. But if we're both teching, you probably might as well just creep and just like try to level your shit up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Master. Master. What task is there? What do you want? I am yours. Oh. Yes. Yes, Lord. I am yours. What do you want? Time. What task is there? Oh. I am yours.
So, I mean, I'm just gonna tell you just because it's a coaching lesson, but and just to give you like kind of like a pacing for yourself. Right now, I am halfway through level 3 already.
Okay.
So
I'm so far behind.
yeah, it's if you one of the ways you can kind of like play the map out too is when you get more comfortable with whatever map you're playing on. If you're just really used to it, you'll kind of find like again that's why I kind of said it's kind of trial and error to a degree. You'll find locations on the map that just feel like they make sense to go creep early, so you can just level faster.
Yeah.
And like this map, in my opinion, one of the fastest ways to level on this map that's like easily recoverable and you don't ever have to go back to your base is you take control of the middle of the map fast, because the middle of the map has a healing well. So if there's ever a healing well, that's definitely a prime location to go fuck over.
That makes sense.
Excellent choice. Yes. Excellent choice. Hey, are you hero and obey?
I'm hiding the item.
I am yours. Oh. Hey. What do you want? Yes, Lord. What task is there? Excellent choice. Yes. Oh.
Yeah, and I really do think that like if you get really good at this game, there's going to be a lot of different types of timings you can do and lots of different attacks you can do that will just, you know, cripple your opponent, and you'll be like, wow, I can definitely fuck them over mini with different ways. But if you just start kind of like figuring out semi-efficient creeping for yourself, whatever you feel comfortable doing, like it's, you know, I like doing this order, but we'll talk about it like on this map after this game's over, just to be like, you know, seeing a way you could do it. If you just get that kind of down on, you know, a style that works for you on multiple maps, you'll win the game a lot of times, just because of the fact that your hero will be a higher level. And I'll also
Yeah, that happens to me a lot. I lose a lot of games because they're, you know, maybe just even one level higher than I am with their main, you know, with the first hero, but it just doesn't matter. I can't come back from that.
Yeah.
Are you hero and obey? What task is there? What task is there? Yes, Lord. I am yours. Oh. Yes, I can do that. Okie dokie. Where something I am yours. Excellent.
Okay, so now we're in the middle together.
Yes. Oh. What task is there? Are you hero and obey? Excellent choice. Oh. Yes, Lord. I am yours. What task is there? I am yours. Hey, yes. Excellent choice. What task is there? Oh. Yes, Lord. Are you hero and obey? I am yours. Research complete.
I'm actually fucking up more than these, more than I usually do.
No, I know. It's good. I'm talking to you and shit like that. And we'll go back into this replay, and this is over, and we'll talk about kind of like what went on and stuff.
I am yours. Excellent choice. Are you hero?
I'm pretty much just scared of that level 4 blade master
Yeah,
right
no,
now.
exactly. Right. Well, this is at the moment where like, then StarCraft 2, this would be like you'd be in a situation where you're like 1 base, and I'm in a situation where I'm like fucking 4 base already or something, or like you're 2 base and I'm like 5 base, where it's like holy shit, this guy's like maxed out, and I'm at like 110 supply. Like hero level in this game is artificial supply. A level 1 hero it's worth 5 supply like it says it is, but like every time it levels up, you might as well add like 4 supply to it. So my level 4 Blade Master is worth honestly, that's like what is that, 17 supply or so. Because it's like 12 on top of the initial 5. It's actually crazy because if you have 3 heroes as well, that is very realistic. Like they get kind of out of control.
Ready to ride. Yes. Oh. Yes, Lord. Can I help? Yes, Lord. I am yours. What task is there? party there. I am yours. Yes, Lord. Yes. Hey. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Good party there. Hey, to my blade. Excellent choice. I am yours. Oh, are you hero and the blade? Are you hero and the blade? Ha! Excellent choice. Hey, to my blade. Good party there. Yes, Lord. Ha! Yes, Lord. Yes. I am yours.
All right, so my advice on this fight would be you got to be very careful about what you target fire in this game. And what's happening?
Yeah.
What's happening right now is that whole fight. I mean, I know it's level 4, which is a big deal as well. But that whole fight, you targeted my Blade Master, and the thing that makes that hard for you is that my Blade Master has all my rings of protection on it. So he has 12 armor right now, which means he is a fucking tank. So
yeah, I noticed that he was tanking hard.
Yeah.
But I should have been picking off units there.
Yeah, like it's it was kind of hard too because your composition as well made it kind of hard for you.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I'll give you some ideas. The fact that you're going Chimera is it's not bad, honestly. Like you have the right idea.
Yeah.
Because I have not only do I have an army that can't hit your air units unless I ensnare it, which I actually have ensnare now. So, I mean that is how I would try to counter that. But
yeah,
if I didn't have ensnare, like if I just had grunt still, that would fucking destroy me.
Yeah. Cool. Well.
Yeah, we can jump out of this and go into the replay.
Yeah.
I just want to like check this out though, really quickly. Just look at my Blade Master really fast, and mouse over his armor, and just check this out. It's ridiculous. See how it says 44% reduction?
Yeah.
Now I'll take the
Holy
rings off
shit.
and watch this. Now look at it. It's only 30. Like those two rings
30.
gave me a fucking 14% more damage reduction on everything you had. Like I was almost taking half damage on your entire army. And then on top of that as well, hero there's another armor type in this game called hero armor, and obviously only heroes have hero armor. They take reductions from everything, so it really is like 50% probably on everything, like that you had. So it was rough for you because while you were like targeting my hero, my whole army was just doing all its full DPS into your army, and your army is like dying as this goes on. So it just starts happening in a way where. Like, check out a grunt now. So my Blade Master is 44, but it's really probably more like 50 to 55 because of hero armor itself. But now look at a grunt. Mouse over his armor.
Yeah, it's 15.
15. And now it also says it takes extra damage from magic attacks. So obviously, I mean, if you had a just use a Chimera here and just hit my grunt once, and you can just see the difference. Like you can hit my Blade Master once and hit my grunt once, and just see how much. Like, see how that just fucking chunks.
Yeah, it's like 2 to 3 times.
Just hit my fucking Blade Master with it, and he'll barely move.
Yeah, barely.
Like it's, if you hit the right armor, the right damage type on the right armor type, it fucking destroys it.
Yeah.
All right, so we can jump out of this, and I have to go through the replay by myself, unfortunately, because we can't watch replays together in this game.
Okay.
So we can just do it through the stream, I guess.
Yeah, I can hop on the stream.
But I'll just give you like an overview of like what I think you should be doing in general on your opener and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so first things first. This is what I would recommend you to do. Okay, this is a great tip, always on maps for Night Elf. And again, this is something you'll learn. That is like the opening creep camp you do is huge. It's fucking huge. It's super big. My best recommendation I can give you is always build your Ancient of War nearby a orange camp that is close to your base. So one of your first 5 wisps, I would say, just like how you built Moonwell here. This shouldn't be a Moonwell. You should have taken this wisp, in my opinion, down to about right here on the ramp. You'll see it in a second. Like I think it's probably like a 3-second delay for you. But about like right here, if you can build on the ramp like right here for your Ancient of War, it's far enough away from the creeps that it wouldn't aggro them. And this is something that I would say is going to come from trial and error too. Like some maps, I have seen some Night Elf players build shit that it looks like it's literally like fucking right there. And I'm like, how the hell is that not getting attacked? And then other maps, if you build it like right there, it still gets attacked. So this is something
Yeah.
you'll just have to kind of like figure out from trial and error. You'll just commit these kinds of things to memory. On this map though, I feel like you can build it at like the middle or the base of the ramp, and you're fine. I usually build it right about there, like where like the top grid of the Ancient of War would be like touching the base of the upper ramp. So the bottom of the Ancient of War is like in the middle of the lower ramp. So like right there is a great spot, and then you can just uproot it. First you build an archer out of it, and here's the way you micro this. This is the trick you do, okay? That makes you creep really fucking fast.
Yeah.
You make an archer, you uproot the tree, you then start walking to the tree to eat it, to like proc your regeneration, because if you eat a tree with an Ancient War, it gives you regen. So you go eat a tree, and then as you go to eat a tree, you grab your archer, you go down and shoot the creep camp with your archer, and you run away back to your Ancient War. So you drag the creeps to the Ancient War, you don't just walk all the way to the creep camp. And as you start doing this, your build order would be Ancient War first, and then you build an altar, and then a moonwell, and then you keep making wisps to fill in the rest, of your gold mine and more wood and shit like that. But then you build whatever hero you're gonna make, and you can start creeping the creep camp before your hero's even out. You just don't kill the units until your hero pops out.
Yeah.
And then once your hero pops out, just make sure all you gotta do is make sure either your archer or your hero itself kills basically anything that is not the Ancient of War. Make sure those kill the target, because if an Ancient of War lands the killing blow, it doesn't actually give you experience. So that's all.
That's safe to start. You can start that process with just one archer and the ancient.
Yeah, the Ancient War is the Ancient War does a fuckload of damage. He hits for like 45 damage, or something like it. Hits for like 40 damage. It hits for a lot of damage.
Yeah.
But I would say the last thing you got to do is as soon as you go to like drag the creeps back to the Ancient War with an archer, bring like 2 wisps with you, as well, to like heal the tree, just repair it as it takes damage, because the last thing you want to do is like lose the fucking tree, the Ancient War as well.
That's what happens in this game.
Okay, yeah, right. It sucks if it does. But if you do that, Night Elf can actually level to level 2 the fastest out of any race in the game, because you can start creeping the creeps before the heroes are even out. So if you can do that, it gives you good control to then rush to the middle afterwards and like go towards like near the healing well.
Okay. Yeah.
So like your build right now, being Moonwell first and then a super delayed everything else. Like, this is definitely not what you want to be doing here. You definitely want to make your buildings a lot faster than this, because right now you're missing out on time really hard here. Getting that hero out as fast as fucking possible is your priority. And if like you could go altar first if you're gonna go for like hero harass on me, or you could go your production building first and then altar right after if your focus is gonna be for like creeping. Like if you go altar first, that's still okay. If you're gonna creep, you need to make both your altar. Like, I would say for Night Elf, you kind of want to go Ancient War first, just because of the power of creeping it. But in general, for like most races, just overall, you want to have access to like both your hero and your military unit, whatever it's going to be, really, really, really early.
Yeah.
So you're like, if you
I used to go altar first, but to try and put pressure and stuff, and I'd even try and like attack them with the level 1 hero, and I would just get my ass kicked every time.
Sure, that's why I don't think you should attack either. I think you should just creep, because of that exact reason. You have to like really know your shit to harass someone effectively, and that comes later when you start feeling more comfortable with everything you're doing. But like you can see your altar right now is like just started, and my altar is almost done. So like already you're super far behind. This is why my hero was a higher level than yours. Like this is one of the reasons why.
Yeah.
And your Ancient War, I would say you actually put your Ancient War in a very awkward spot. The reason why is because this is where it takes experience, okay, to know the creep camps. And if you would have taken the creep camp at your natural expansion, that creep camp would have been very doable with, because like you can see if you don't look at Fog of War and you just look at all the creep camps, you're like, oh, okay, we got 2 level 4 berserkers, we got a level 2 troll priest, we got a level 3 ogre. Not that bad. It's all auto attacking bullshit with the priest that heals, and it's all kind of squishy. It's all low hit points, 400 or less basically. But now you look at the other fucking creep camp that is also it still has the same tag of, oh, it's orange, but it's so much fucking harder. You have instead of a level
way harder.
instead of a level little 3 ogre warrior, you have a fucking level 6 rock golem melee unit, which hits harder. It has more armor, and it has like double, or like not double, but it has just a lot more health, and it has an ability of like a fucking stun that hits hard. So this thing is a beast compared to a level 4 ogre. It has the same 2 troll berserkers the other camp has, and then it has a way stronger troll priest. This thing heals for more. It does more damage. It has more HP. It has more mana. It's just like the big brother of the little troll priest. It's just like a better unit. It does the same thing, but it does everything better. So the melee unit and the healer are just better, but the range units are the same. So it's just a way fucking harder creep camp. And I would say the difference is, and this comes from experience, if you were gonna creep the one at your gold mine, 2 wisps, Ancient of War, Archer, and your hero, you could take that. If you were gonna creep the one at the fucking shop, you would need like 4 or 5 wisps and an Archer and your hero. Seriously, you would need like at least 4 wisps to maybe not lose your Ancient of War here. So like that's just something you'd have to know from knowledge or memory, because that creep camp is fucking brutal. So if you do that first, like, if you don't even bring any wisps, I can totally see your Ancient of War dying, 100%.
Your building is
Yeah.
I stand ready.
And then just keep in mind too, if you do want Ancient of War creep, you need to uproot that shit like immediately, like one Archer and go. Because if you wait like this, you can see how you haven't even started creeping yet, and I'm already about to be level 2 here.
I was just waiting around for him too.
Yeah.
I was like, hurry up and finish, Archer. Like, hurry.
And that's also why you want to go Ancient of War first. With one of your first 5 wisps, that should be an Ancient of War, so you get that process started faster.
Yeah.
And the drag thing is also a good technique. So you do drag, which I like, but you should drag it literally all the way to your Ancient of War, because you don't want your Trents tanking. You don't want your Archers taking. You don't want your Keeper taking. You want your Ancient of War to take everything, because the thing is Ancient of War, as soon as it gets in range, you'll see in a second here, it will take all the aggro no matter what, because the way AI works in this game is when a building is in the area, it just takes the fucking aggro.
Yeah.
And you had to have wisps here, and see how it's still getting shot by the axe throwers, because even though as long as they're within range. The only time they don't attack the Ancient of War is when it goes out of range. And here's a cool tip as well. If you ever fuck it up and you're like, oh god, I'm gonna lose the Ancient of War, like it's going bad, if you just root it, if you actually plant it to where it roots in the ground so it can make archers again, it loses aggro.
Okay.
And it still regenerates if you just ate a tree as well. So that's a cool tip. You can, if you ever overestimate what you're doing, you can just root it and run away. Like you could drag the creeps with your archers and your keeper away as you root the tree, and it'll stop taking aggro, and the creeps will chase your archers. So that's a way you can just reset it for yourself if you fuck it up. And now you've only killed that golem, and I think you even killed one of it. I think you actually killed one of the units with your keeper or with your Ancient of War, because the fact that you only have this much XP. I feel like that's as much XP you would get if you just killed one of the axe throwers. I think your Ancient of War literally killed the golem.
Like, that's fucked up.
Yeah. Like right now, it says you have 68 out of 200. You should have more like 168 out of 200, or something around there.
Okay, I gotta watch that.
Yeah, you really have to make, like, what I like to do with Night Elf is I like to make 2 control groups. One is like every unit I have, and 2 is like my Ancient of War when I creep like this. And I go like 1A, 2A on the same unit. As soon as it's low, I just don't touch 1, and I let 1 kill it. And I go 2, attack the new target, and then as soon as 1 kills the target I was already on, I then tell 1 to attack the target the Ancient War has already been told to kill. Now, next. So you just gotta make sure you always rip your Ancient War off, and it's easy to do it if you have it in a separate control group.
Yeah.
And now, you can see I'm just over here in the middle of the map, just killing all, like, I did the middle well with the healing fountain, and then I'm, already almost level 4, and you're barely level 2 now. With that's just how Warcraft 3 goes, where if you do something inefficient, like that was definitely way too hard, way too fast. So like right now, you could also be like around level 3 to 4 as well, if you would have just crept your expansion first, which was that would have been super easy, and then you would have progressed your way into the middle, because again, the one way you can tell. Like, you know how in StarCraft 2 I'm always like 5SD, or make workers, like make sure you make probes all the time, make sure you make CVs all the time. You don't ever want your command center or your nexus to be idle. The equivalent of that to Warcraft 3 is make sure your hero is not idle. Like, killing time is what needs to be maximized in Warcraft 3. So,
Yeah.
if your fucking build literally is like, we're going to wait, we're going to wait, we're going to wait, we're going to do something really hard, it's going to take a while to do it, and then we're going to wait, we're going to wait, we're going to wait, then it's super inefficient. It should just be like progressively easy, 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 easy the whole time. It should, every creep camp you do should feel easy, because you should be able to just snap your fingers and you just kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, and you move on to the next one. And as your hero gets higher level, everything becomes easy as fuck. Like, for instance, the fact that my hero right now has, my Blade Master has a full inventory and he's about to be level 4. I could literally go to a red dot now and I could fucking destroy it. Because my Blade Master is so much stronger than he was when he was level 1 and no items. And you're keeping the grove right now. I mean, you bought 2 of the items you have. So you also burnt a lot of gold in doing that too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not bad to buy items. I'm not saying that's bad, but it's like, it's not as efficient though as if you just efficiently crept shit and just got items just naturally.
When you cut worker production, I kind of just went into a time where I felt comfortable tearing up and then just stopped workers for the rest of the game.
Yeah. I would say that depends on your build. And if you're going to go for a build that's going to tech, like the best way to say this is think about how much lumber your build's going to use. And if your build is going to be lumber expensive, I would say you probably want to go more towards like maybe like 8 to 10 wisps. Probably more like 10 wisps if your build's going to be super lumber expensive. And if your build's going to be lumber cheap, you can stop more around like 6 wisps. Or like 6 to 7, maybe 8. Like 6, anywhere between 6 and 8 is the cheap side. Go to around 10 for the expensive side. Ideally. And then if, like, so for instance, if you're going to expand and you're like, well, I'm going to just, you know, I'm going to go for a quick natural and I'm going to make towers. That's fucking super lumber expensive. So you'd probably want to go to like, go right to 10 on wood. And then you could grab like 5 of those off of wood. And as you grab 5 of those off of wood, you're making more to go back on wood again. If you're doing a build that's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go for a really quick tier 3, just mass archers with the archer upgrades, the tier 2 range upgrade and the tier 3 damage upgrade. I'm going to do that on the Ancients of War and just go mass archers to get like 2 heroes. That's pretty lumber cheap, I would say. And that'd be more of like a 6, 7 wisp. And that'd be fine there. So just kind of know what your build is. And just know that if your build is going to revolve around any type of tech unit as your primary, that's a lumber expensive build. Or if it's going to revolve around any type of expansion, that is a lumber expensive build. The only builds that are not lumber expensive are builds that use a tier 1 unit that just gets upgrades from the next tiers. But you're still going to make that tier 1 unit. So like again, the only one would be if you went mass archers and you just upgraded the archers, but you just went mass archers. That is not that expensive on wood, because archers literally cost like 10 wood a piece. So that's cheap as fuck. But if you're going to make like Druids of the Talon and you want to upgrade them, you would not only want to make the Ancients of Wind, which is like the tech building that makes them, but you also want to make the upgrades of tier 1, tier 2 caster. That's a fuckload of wood right there as well to make them as well. So that's going to be, you know, more expensive in total. It's like we're talking like for 2 Ancients of Wind to set up Druids of the Talon, that's like probably 500, 600 wood right there. So that's a lot compared to archers. So just try to know what your build requires.
Cool.
Yeah, and then you can see I've crept the whole middle, so now you're just kind of fucked. And this is why in Warcraft 3, time is important, because like if I take the map and you don't take it, like you can't, like you're just, it's more severe than StarCraft 2 is, in the sense that if you're like, oh, my opponent's been making workers, but I haven't been, I can try to catch up now, maybe play defensive. It still could be, like, you're probably still fucked, but like there's a chance. But in Warcraft 3, if I just take the map and you don't, and you then try to take the map and you're like, wait, what? It's all gone already. Like, that's super fucking terrible for you, because there's nothing you can do to make those creeps come back. Like, it's just massive negative for you. That means you've definitely been outpaced, and the game is probably fucking over already. So, creeping with efficiency is definitely just again, the concept of making sure you're always fighting. That's all it really is.
Goddess, light my path.
Because yeah, like right now, like how you were like, I'm scared of that level 4 Blade Master, and as you should be, because This army is. I would say you're fucked. I guess this is not looking good for you.
Yeah.
Warriors of the night, assemble!
All right. And one thing you could have done too, in my opinion, would be, I think honestly, I think Huntresses in this position are kind of not the greatest. They're just. I know you have double Ancient War, but even then, I think maybe, unless you're gonna go mass archers, double Ancient War is not necessary. You should only make double of a building that you're gonna mass. Like you're gonna make a lot of basically. And if you're just gonna make archers as an opener and you're gonna tech into something else, but maybe you stumble archers to assist your army, that's fine. One Ancient War is totally fine to get that job done. The only time you should ever make double Ancient War is if your plan was to go for like 24 archers or something like that. Like we're talking literally like mass archers, like 80 supply of hero archer.
Yeah.
Because if your plan instead was to go for like Chimera really fast, like that is risky a little bit in itself, just to go straight Chimera. But it's doable. You can do it. But I would say faster tech with one archer would be the way to do that. Like one Ancient War, one archer production, and then go fast. Get your Chimeras out faster. Because you can see already, like for me, I'm already on Fortress, and I already have Bloodlust started. And I only went single racks. And I have, how many grunts do I have? I have like probably like 7 grunts, 6 grunts. And you only have like 8 archers, and you have double Ancient War. So that's definitely not. And I think one of them died or something, but definitely not ideal is all I'm saying. Like it's too much production. It's too much idle time on your production, so it's just overkill.
Yeah, I guess that's something I don't have a sense of in this game, like I do with StarCraft, where it's like, how much of each building do I need, and like, how many moon wells do I need?
Just know that in Warcraft 3, again, if you're gonna go mass, doubling up your early tier 1 production is fine. And those are the only units you ever are going to actually mass ever. Like we're talking like for like a build that's gonna be like timing based, where it's gonna need to do something at a certain point in time to be effective. Like mass archer, mass grunt, mass footman, mass ghoul. These things kind of drop off later on in the game. Like really late in the game they drop off, and the reason why is because the higher level heroes go, the worse tier 1 units feel, because heroes just fucking dominate tier 1 units. Like if I have a Tauren Chieftain with a level 3 shockwave and you have mass archers, you could have 100 archers and I would still kill you. Like I would just run your fucking army over with a shockwave. It would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
And a lot of heroes have aspects like Blizzard, Flame Strike, Carrion Swarm, Nova, Death Coil, fucking Stormbolt, whatever. Like a Blade Master just fucking Blade Storming could wipe out like 20 archers. Like there's so many things that high level heroes can just annihilate archers with. So it's definitely a unit that if you mass it a lot early, you definitely want to make some type of an early attack while the heroes are maybe like at least level 4 or lower. Like you can creep fast with it, but just kind of control the game with it. But again, I'm not telling you to do that build really. I do think it would be better for you to go for 1-base tech builds, because that's more favored towards creeping. It has more of a longevity towards like in-game. So if your build was like 1 Ancient War, make like 6 archers out of that. You could also upgrade them once you have the next tiers. That's fine. Go into like 1 Ancient of Wind. Start making like Druids of the Talon as well. That'd be super good. And then go into like a Chimera Roost tier 3, and you could add on Chimera as well. And that would probably feel really good too. And you could play the heroes out where you could go Keeper the Grove first and maybe like Alchemist second or something like that. But I know on this map there's actually no tavern, so you'd have obviously there's no tavern here. But yeah, you get what I mean though. Like it's a build that would flow better than what this is, because going like Huntresses when I'm already tier 3 is like guaranteeing you're just gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
All right, so here's my plan. Because the game's not over, I just kind of run you over and you die. But here's the plan I have. If you want to do this, we can try it out. But I can do one of 2 things. I can 1v1 a computer, and I can give you an example build so you can watch it and you can ask me questions as I do it. Or I could 1v1 you on Orc, and I could be Night Elf, and I could give you an example build that way. And you can just watch the replay. Either way works for me. I don't really care.
Okay. Yeah, why don't I just play with my Orc, and then...
Okay.
Yeah, you can show me the Night Elf.
Alright, let me make a game in 1 second. I want to make a map that's more appropriate for like a tavern map.
Okay.
Okay, so I just made a game. I'll invite you to it.
Oh, I left the.
Okay, I just made a game. I don't know. Can you look at your friends list and just join me? I can't invite you through like your name.
I can invite you to the team.
Okay, I just made the game name literally A.
Oh, okay.
You might be able to find it that way. Local game. What?
Let me filter it.
I don't know. BattleNet's Warcraft 3 crappy interface. What does local game mean? You need to play a multiplayer one. Oh, did I make single player? Oh, my bad.
I think you did.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Yeah, good old Warcraft 3. Jesus.
I think that's why you left the party or whatever.
Yeah, that's all good. I'm just gonna. I don't know what map I want to play. Not this one. There we go. That's what I want to play. There we go. Easy. Okay, I got you.
Cool.
All right. So I will go into yeah, I'll do the I will literally this game I'll go Keeper of the Grove into Alchemist into a with archers into Druids of the Talon into Chimera. If you go melee or whatever.
Awesome.
It's like again, this build is like builds are really be creative about it. Do whatever you want to do. Just know that you should probably mix in some aspect of counter unit to your opponent's units. So for instance,
Yeah.
if you were fighting someone that had fucking like mass casters as human, just like the guy literally goes mass priest and fucking sorceress. A great addition to your army would be like archers would be okay there because archers can pierce through the caster's armor type. They would fucking wreck. Pierce damage is really good there. Siege damage does even better there. So if you made like glaive throwers, that would be super good there. Just kind of start committing to memory like what damage type is good against what armor type.
Yeah.
And to give you, I'll just really say it really fast. This is like a crash course, okay? Like a really fast crash course. And you can go back and listen to this VOD because I'll turn this into a VOD on YouTube. But here's a crash course VOD of like what is like ideal damage type versus ideal armor type. Okay? So magic, good against heavy. Pierce, good against either unarmored or light. Normal, good against normal. Fortify or siege, good against fortified or unarmored. Chaos, good against everything. And if you have like a demon hunter, that's when you'll have chaos damage. If you have metamorphosis. What other damage types? Heroes doesn't matter. Heroes good against everything. It doesn't matter. Did I miss a damage type? Magic, pierce, siege, normal, chaos. I think that's all of it. But yeah, that's kind of what it is, though. That's it, really.
Okay.
So if you just kind of like commit that to memory, you know, it'll start making more sense as to what's good against what.
Yeah.
All
Cool,
right,
man.
all right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, good luck, man. And then I would highly recommend saving this. Like, you actually have to save this replay, otherwise it'll get deleted if you play like one more game.
Yeah, I saved the last one
Okay.
as well.
I would say definitely save this one and watch how I build my shit and where I creep and stuff. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be somewhat efficient. And then when you do this build, just in case you might not notice this, just make sure, I would say, your first wisp that comes out of your tree of life after you build your buildings needs to go to wood even though you don't have a fully saturated gold mine. And the other reason why that is because you won't be able to make an archer if you don't do that on time.
Okay.
That's yeah, and then otherwise it's pretty
So you
straightforward.
said out of the first building.
Yeah, so like I made all 3 of my buildings already, and then I only have 4 workers on gold. But the first whip so I make to go back to working on resources, it goes to wood before gold. So that way I can afford an archer on time, and I don't have to wait on an archer.
Cool.
Your building is complete.
Just I think it works. My moonwell feels late. I don't know. Whatever. But it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect.
More lumber is required. I stand ready. On your mark. Waiting on you. Your move. One shot, one kill. Same. Point the way. Fair enough. Waiting on you. All too easy. On your mark. Point the way. All too easy. Point the way. Same. Your move. Fire. Waiting on you. On your mark. Cry havoc. Fair enough. I'll give it a shot. Done.
I must
Point the
safeguard
way.
nature is restless. Command me. Well, there it is. Is there danger?
Your building is
Now. Let me go wild. Nature is restless.
Another little tip as well. I didn't really do it this game, but I'm doing it now. Is or I was for a second there. A way you can kind of fuck with AI of the troll healers, because there's a lot of creep camps in this game that have troll healer. The way you can kind of fuck with the AI of that is you just
Nature is restless.
you attack the fucking troll with all of your army, and only one other unit attacks the other stuff. Like for instance,
Is there danger?
like one archer hits the other units, but everything else hits the fucking troll that's healing. What happens is if anything else takes damage that's not the troll himself, he'll heal that instead.
The wild.
So you can kill him faster, other than letting
I
him
see.
just heal repeatedly over and over and over.
Oh, nice. That's great.
Because he'll heal like the one archer's DPS and not the rest of your army.
I stand ready.
Is there danger? Naturally, by the spirits. So shall it be. Well, there it is.
Oh man, that's bad. I didn't even make an Ancient of Wonders last game. I forgot about that.
That's
That's
the shop.
that's bad. Yeah.
Feel nature's wrath.
I should make that right now myself.
Nature is restless.
That upgrade doesn't work, right? I don't, I feel like those kinds of things, those situations where people say shit like that, that's the trap you fall into when everyone kind of thinks the game is played based off of top level only. Where they're like, if a top level night elf says night elf is just better than orc, or if a top level orc says night elf is better than orc, that just means that night elf's better than orc. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that that's how the game has to be played. Like just play the game however you want to play it.
Warriors have
And it doesn't have to be so meta focused of like you're always copying the fucking top level, because I'm not even teaching like the top level right now.
point the way.
Nature is restless. Feel nature's wrath. Command
Like there's a lot of stages in RTS.
by the spirits. Is there danger? Well, there it is. Nature is restless. Command me.
Your building is there.
Is there danger?
I stand ready.
Let me wild. For Calendar. Time is now. Nature is restless. Command me. Let me. Is there danger? None shall harm the wilds. Command me. So shall
Upgrade.
it
I
be.
stand ready.
Is there danger? The time is now. Naturally, by the spirits.
Point the way.
Nature is restless.
Create more means. Your building. Ready Ready to go.
Threatens the wilds. Command me.
On your mark.
Threatens the wilds.
Your man.
The time is now. Nature is restless.
Your building. Research them. Wanna blow something up? Research them. Your love, my Wanna blow something up? Don't rush me.
How's scraping going?
It's alright. Better than last game.
Okay. Just to
But
give you,
I did get a supply block.
okay. Just to give you another.
I'm at 2.
Okay, I was saying, to give you another number. I'm at level 2 on my second hero, and I'm almost level 4 on my main hero.
Oh wow.
is restless. Orc Talon is their danger. So
It's just you gotta really definitely make sure whenever your hero's literally running around, make sure it's like always running to a place with purpose, like either to heal itself or to run to another creep cap.
nature is restless.
'Cause
Yeah.
if you can just get to like level 4, level 5 as fast as possible, your chances of winning the game are gonna be a fucking shitload higher.
Nature's wrath.
Wanna
Yeah.
blow something up?
I just hit level 3 with my first hero, but my second hero I kind of forgot about that dude. He was taking a nap.
Yeah.
Hey, my fiery potion. Research them. Stop. Ready to go. Our warriors have engaged the enemy. Yeah, but I got them. Wanna blow something up? Yeah, but I got them.
Who threatens the
away.
wilds? Command me. Is there danger?
I'll shake that right up.
Is restless.
You
Is
got
there
it.
danger? Naturally. Command me. Who threatens the wilds? So shall it be.
And then it's also another thing I did do this game that or I didn't really do anything to you, but I was ready to do something to you. Is I had a wisp at your expansion, and if I would have saw you expand, I could have had the option to harass you if I wanted to. So it's definitely
Oh, I see.
useful.
For Kali,
Oh, nice.
the time is now.
I'm all stocked.
Is there danger?
I'm gonna come attack you right now.
By the spirits.
You prepare yourself.
Is there danger?
Away.
Your love, my
Who
recipe.
threatens the wilds?
Waiting on you.
Nature is restless. For Kalindor. The time is now.
And now that I'm like tier 3, I can go into like an expansion while I attack you. This would be like a good time for me to expand as the Night Elf player. If I was gonna open up one
Yeah.
base.
Who threatens the
Research them. Wanna blow something up?
is now. Command me.
Be really careful too about how you build burrows. Or not just burrows. I don't know if you do that as well all the time with like moonwells, but make sure moonwells are a little bit not as good or not as crazy. But the fact that it's super exposed is all I'm saying. It's a little scary to expose your soft structures like that super hard.
I'll get that mixed up.
Okay.
You got it. Hurry, I got things to blow up. Don't rush me. Your love.
Oh man, my beast was not even near my dudes. Cool.
Which beast?
My Kodo beast was
Oh yeah.
not,
Yeah, it's all good.
you know.
It's a situation like that's super hard though, just because your heroes were lower level, and like it makes a humongous difference.
Yeah.
Because like what happened this game again was I would say, just speaking if I were to be speaking to you like as your opponent here, there wasn't enough retention when I crept in the middle of the map, and I got way too many items way too fast, and it's because you were I'm assuming you were probably creeping the sides of the map, like maybe you're prioritizing the goblin merchant over and over, and I would say that's one of the least priorities on this map. You should definitely prioritize the middle. And the reason why is because there's a healing well there. It makes it to where it's super fast
Yeah.
to be efficient repeatedly.
I went middle, and then I paused to use the healing well, and then I creeped some more in the middle, and then I went off to the side about a minute before you attacked me, and then
Sure.
TP'd back home.
And all of, like, and so far in this game too, what I've done is I can expand now, and I've teched into, you know, Chimera, Druids of the Talon, those things. And I'm just going for like weapon upgrades because this build, if you have a keeper, it's more and a alchemist, it's more about like focus fire control. So just killing my shit or killing your shit is what I want to do. So if you, I would say if you prioritize the upgrades, you should definitely go for weapon. And then if you still keep getting upgrades after, the game's not over. You can go armor after. But we can really quickly, let's just bump out of this game, or I will. And I'm gonna go to the replay and I'll show you a little bit more, one more time, really fast about kind of how it went.
Yeah.
It'll give you, and then I would say definitely save it too for yourself, so you can always look at it again in the future, just to see like in terms of like efficiency. This game is like hard as fuck though to like teach properly on it though, because like there's no game clock. So I don't like you know what actually. Hey, check this out. Check this out. Here's actually something I think you should do. I'm not gonna lie, this would probably help you a lot in terms of like learning the game better. If you have like a phone or like an app on your computer for like timer or whatever, if you want to play a game for the sake of learning, and you're like, okay, I want to see how fast I'm playing this, I want to see how efficient I'm being here. If you start a fucking timer, like I'll literally do it on my phone right here. Actually, no, I'm not really. I can't do it because I can't watch the replay faster then. You'd have to watch the replay in real time that way. But if you watch the replay in real time, and you play your game in real time, you can compare timers then. If you're like, okay, well, it's 5 minutes, and ViBE in his replay was at level 3 at 5 minutes, and I'm like barely level 2. Or, you know, something like, you could be like, oh, okay, well, now I have time as a reference to see what the fuck is happening. It's harder to do that in Warcraft 3, though, because you'd have to watch it in real time, which makes it fucking take way longer.
Yeah.
The features of Warcraft 3 are... Actually, you know what? I mean... You actually have a timer in the replay. I didn't realize this was here still.
Yeah.
You just don't have a timer in the real game as you're playing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess you could just compare replays. That's fine. You can just compare replays. That makes it easy. So, yeah. I mean, you're comparing replays anyways. So in your own game, you can go to your own replay and look at the timers of what you're doing. And then in the game where, you know, you're comparing my game, you can look at my timers. Honestly, you should do that, okay? So I actually didn't realize there was a timer in Warcraft 3. Excuse me. You should do this, okay? I tell people to do this all the time in StarCraft 2, and I think it would be a really good learning tool for Warcraft 3. If you go like this, okay? Do it 1 minute by 1 minute, all right? So, like, in 1 minute, we're going to talk about heroes, and we're going to talk about supply overall. So, at 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and then this will make sense in a second. Okay. Okay, so 1 minute exactly. Our heroes' production. And you have to be very careful too when you do replays in Warcraft 3, because if you go over, you can't go backwards. You can't actually reverse it. So my hero's production, my altar, I would say it's probably like 75%. We'll just say 75%.
Yeah.
Just be generous, like whatever. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just roughly what it is. So resume it. And we were also at, we gotta say this too, we were at 9 workers at the same time, at 9 workers. So 75% on hero. The percentage is like hero level, and then workers comes after. At 2 minutes.
I stand ready. Our warriors have engaged the enemy.
We are at. Hero is about, I would say, like 70%, and we are at 19. Well, should just write supply. Workers are kind of whatever in this game. Supply. So 70% hero now. Hero. Altar.
warriors have engaged the enemy.
And then now at 3 minutes, and then you can just literally do this every minute. The reason why I feel like this is good is because you only have to do it from my replay once. Just do it from my replay one time. And you can literally have like a template or like use an actual spreadsheet if you wanted to. You don't have to use a notepad exactly, but so you can just make it faster. But what you kind of want to do is you just want to fill in the minute gaps as to what the fuck you're at every minute. And what it does is it really specifies where you're going wrong in your games. So a lot of people, when they look at a replay, if they don't really know what they're looking for, they're just kind of like, well, fuck. Like, I don't know. The overall game, like I could have just done things better, I guess. I don't know. Like it's confusing. It's convoluted. It doesn't make any sense. You're just like, I'll work on everything, I guess. That sounds good to me. I'll work on everything. But it doesn't really specify what you're supposed to work on, so you don't really know how to improve other than just a general sense of I have to improve. Anyone can say I have to improve, but you don't know how to actually do that. But if you break it down minute by minute by minute, you can see, okay, at minute 1, minute 2, I've done the same build order as ViBE at least, so at least my hero came out at the same time. And maybe like right now, at 3 minutes when my hero is at, you know, we're talking, well, you can write down the actual XP number now. You can say 80 out of 200, and then you can say 20 supply. So now you have an exact, you don't have to guess anymore because you can mouse over the XP bar and you can see the exact number now. It doesn't actually say percentages of production, unfortunately, on buildings, but at least an XP bar it does. So now you could have seen I was at 80 out of 200 at 3 minutes, and then we'll go to 4 minutes.
Our warriors have engaged.
And we'll do this all in at 5 minutes, and we'll go look at your replay in a second here. So at 4 minutes now, I'm at 292 out of 500. So 292 out of 500, and I'm at 25 supply. And we'll go to one more final minute, a 5th minute here.
Our warriors have engaged the enemy. Your building is complete.
Actually, let's go a little bit longer. Let's go a little bit longer than 5. This will give you a good indicator though as to like what I mean here. Like it's actually, and we can definitely break down where you're going wrong. Like really hardcore. 5.
Now right there, should I have maybe been a little aggressive and tried to?
Yes, you should have. You should have, definitely.
Yeah.
If you ever see someone creeping, you should definitely try to fuck them over. Instead of, like, don't be so, like, you don't want to be super passive about everything. I would say you just want to creep until a fight happens and then take the fight. Like if you have to take the fight. Now, unfortunately, if you're the one creeping and they fight you, that's obviously less effective for you because now you're fighting 2 things at once. But if you saw me creeping a camp and you wanted to come take that fight, you should totally have taken that fight. And then it really comes down to micro. And what would have happened is I would have probably either tried to focus fire the creeps and then just left, or I would have started entangling your grunts and tried to like focus fire your grunts while trying to micro my archers around. Like it goes both ways. It really comes down to literally who micros better than who in the situation. But definitely, if you ever have the advantage to go, oh, he's creeping, I'm gonna fuck him over. Always take that fight, because if you just allow me to creep whatever I want and you just take the shittier creep camp, you're gonna be behind anyways. Because the camp you're taking is definitely not ideally what you want to take right now. Because it's way easier than what you want to be doing. Like that camp would be like maybe the first camp you creep and then that's it. And like it's definitely not what you want to prioritize your time on much, because there's no item that drops there, and those creeps are going to give you a total of like 50 XP or something, or like 40 XP, which is fucking nothing.
Yeah, I guess I was just trying to hunt down anything before you got to it.
Yeah. So like, because you want to have like a path of progression. Like you want to have your initial creep camps be the easier ones, and then as you progress to a stronger army and a stronger hero,
everyone is having a good weekend.
You want to definitely progress to harder camps faster and knock those out as quick as you can. But you don't want to do them too fast, because then obviously that would be like the first game you played, where it's just like, all right, well that fucking fell apart super hard. You know, I was just definitely like a mess at this point. And now like I did something way too hard, way too fast. My shit died. Now I can't even make archers anymore, and my hero's just kind of sitting around for a while. Like that sucks. So yeah, that's where the progression comes in, and you just want to knock out as much of the shit you can as fast as you can, so that I don't get to have it. And then if there's excess leftover little weak shit, then you can go kill it later. That's fine.
Yep.
All right, so we're at 5 minutes, and I'm at 518 of 900, and I'm at at 26 supply. So supply in this game, like spending your money and supply in this game isn't as crazy as StarCraft is. It's literally just creeping your hero. Like the big thing about this game is like if you spend your money, for instance, on like you're teching really fast, you're going to tier 2 really fast, you don't have to have 0 gold and 0 lumber the whole time to be like, well, I got to be playing efficient here. I got to be making like more Ancients of War and more Archers. If your plan is to go for a tier 2 like Druids of the Talon, that's totally fine. Make that work like that way. That's great. It's a totally different mindset of StarCraft. Because hero leveling is the equivalent of spending your money and maxing your supply out in StarCraft. And then obviously, once you actually have the proper tech, then you obviously want to spend your money. But you don't have to spend your money as fast as possible in this game. Because tier 1 units kind of... If your plan is not to go mass tier 1, you shouldn't be making all your money on tier 1 anyways. If that makes sense. And mass tier 1 only makes sense if you're going to do like a timing attack. That's how the game is a lot different to StarCraft in that regard. Like having a big bank in Warcraft 3 is easy as fuck to spend. Having a big bank in StarCraft 2 is actually hard to spend because it means your mechanics have kind of fallen apart.
Yep.
And do you know about upkeep too, right? Or do you not know about upkeep?
Yeah, I do know about it.
Okay, so yeah, that's also the reason why it's a good idea to not just ramp your supply up as fast as you can, because you don't want to be like, oh, I'm at 51 out of 60, and I'm going to sit here for a while, just fucking my gold over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for people who don't know about upkeep, just really fast, there's tax in this game on your gold, and there it is on the screen right there, like where my finger is pointing. You do not want to be in those upkeep ranges if you don't. You want to explode into the maximum of the next upkeep. You don't want to be in the minimum of it. So if I'm going to sit on 50, that's good. But I don't want to sit on 51 or 55. As soon as I make the threshold crossing over to the 51 plus, I want to explode to 80 as fast as possible. And that's how transitions happen in this game. Alright, so now we'll look at 6 minutes. Which is now, like you can see, I'm definitely like just kind of like cranking out shit quickly, and you're getting the little weak green camp, so you're definitely falling super far behind here. That's definitely not linear progression. You're basically getting like for like every like $10 I find, you're getting like a quarter or like $1. Like you're getting the little weak camps, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But now my hero at 6 minutes is 674 out of 900.
I also didn't have a general sense of like what your path was.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That comes from just experience and playing the maps. And this is something that you'll develop for yourself for things that just feel comfortable. So like you just would, for the first game you played me on this map, you'd be like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to go creep that Goblin Merchant camp next time because that was a fucking shit show. And then let's say you try what I did this game and you're like, oh, that was much easier. I creeped the gold mine. That was so easy. And then you go from there. You know, and you progress as you go forward. And you're like, wow, that was much faster this game. And that's when you could be like, you could use your own progression to be like, well, this time I progressed way faster on my hero's XP than I did the previous game or whatever. And then you just do that again until you either see someone outpace you and you look at their progression rate or like where they go and you can maybe copy their progression style, or, you know, you just keep doing what you do that works already.
Yeah.
But again, just a big tip, any map that has a healing well, seriously, you want to kind of abuse it. Like, I am creeping so fucking hard because of this healing well.
Yes, you did. Yeah, I should have been on you when you were messing around with
100%
that
you should
well.
have been. Yep.
Yeah.
That fucked you over pretty bad that you weren't. And now we can see we're about to be at 7 minutes. And at 7 minutes, I now have 2 heroes. So now my first hero is 832 of 900. And then I have another hero that is at 207 out of 500. And I'm at 37 supply. So in total, I've already made over 1,000 XP, which is a fuckload. And your hero has only made 388.
Jesus.
So just being efficient about the linear path progression of what is difficult to creep is what you want to capitalize on. And then also on top of that, always be fighting as well. That's like that's how it becomes linear. Because if it's too hard too fast, it ramps up too quickly, and then you have downtime because you fucked yourself over. And if it's too easy, then you're obviously you're overkilling shit super easy, and it's I mean, you might be always killing, but there might be a situation where it's too much running, too much moving around because it's just too easy. So I mean, it'll start to make sense what feels good, but like for instance, this game, the fact that I've crept the whole middle of the map now, like the middle of this map is definitely the best place to go first. Like maybe creep your expansion first, and then go right to the middle, and then from there you can creep the sides, because the side like the gold mines. And the shops, like all the gold mines and the shops other than your natural gold mine are a little bit more of a difficult kind of a gold mine to kill. Like they all have the fucking rock golem essentially and like higher level trolls and shit. And then like the red camps here have like the super buff ogre. Like the laboratories, they have the ogres with like the level 7 ogre lord and shit like that. Like those are kind of rough camps. And then if you look at like the corner gold mines with like the purple golem, the granite golem, and the dragons that fly, like that's obviously like the hardest camp in the whole fucking map. So like the progression would be literally like creep your gold mine, creep the middle. You can then creep either the other gold mines that have, or like the shops that have like the bigger level 6 golem, the gray one, or you could actually drag and pull the fucking ogre lord away because it's melee. And I'm just gonna tell you right now, camps that have mostly melee are easy as fuck to abuse. And I'll show you actually how I do this in a second here. But then once you get to a point where you have like a level 4 or a level 5 hero, you can literally do whatever you want. And just so you know too, just this is one more tip. We're about to wrap it up here pretty soon though, but I know there's a lot of tips about this game that is just like little hidden fucking things. If you have a level 5 hero, you don't actually gain XP anymore off of killing creeps. You only gain XP off of killing your enemy. And there's also a radius of that hero, where if that hero is in range of your other hero and you creep with it, it will leech XP by the fraction of however many heroes you have there. So if I was a level 5 Keeper of the Grove and I killed the Ogre Lord camp near the Goblin Laboratory, it would take 50% of my Alchemist's XP away and just delete it, because the Keeper of the Grove's in range. So the range is about a screen length. Like literally, if you just like click the alchemist, you click on his portrait in the bottom middle, it'll center him on the screen. And if the keeper of the grove is literally on that screen at all, it'll probably leech the XP. And it's kind of like Letterbox too, the way Warcraft 3 is kind of designed. So I would say expand it. Like if you were to take away the top like menu bar and log bar and your resource bar, and take away the bottom middle part where it has the mini map, the portrait, your like assist like toolbar. If you took those bars as well away and they were just like open vision, that's about how big the screen is. And if your Keeper of the Grove is on that screen at all, he's going to leech your fucking XP. So it needs to be like a pretty decent ways away from the fucking fight to not leech XP. So you make sure you do that as well if you're if you have a level 5 hero and you're going to keep creeping. Okay,
cool. Yeah, I did not know the leeching aspect.
Yeah, it fucks you over pretty hard because like, I mean, 50% is a huge nerf to your XP, and then if you have 3 heroes, and let's say you have 2 level 5s and 1 like level 2, that hero's only getting 1/3 of what it should be getting. If it's creeping, but if you're fighting enemy units, then obviously just keep all your heroes there because they all gain XP all the time. But like how I creep this here is I just drag it out. I just go over, I smack a mob on the side, and I just run away. And you can abuse things like this super hard with Night Elf because you can entangle shit. So I throw a cask at his shit, weaken the armor, and then I entangle him as he tries to run away, as it leashes, and I just fucking kill it. That was a super easy red creep camp to kill then, because of entangling roots. And all the mobs are like running back and forth with the melee. They're like, oh, run away again.
Yeah. Nice.
And now we're like, you know, it's like 8 minutes, and my heroes at this point now, I have 950 and I have 356, so I've not made like about 12, almost 1300 XP, and your heroes again are still at 647 in total for the 2 heroes you have. So it's like double at this point, and it just comes down to efficiency of, you know, it's because you let me have too much shit in the middle too early, which was what you should have also been taking. And the thing that really fucks you over in Warcraft 3 is if you don't take advantage of the linear progression and you let me take advantage of it, I actually get to have linear progression then. And what happens to you is you get fucked super hard, because not only do you not get linear XP progression, but you also don't get linear item progression, which means that now when you actually do the harder camps, you'll do them slower, and you have to wait for more army to do them properly. So it actually doesn't make you slow down at like a pace that's steady. It slows you down exponentially more compared to what I do.
Yeah.
You just like run out of gas essentially. So that's huge because if you look at your heroes, for instance, you have 2 items. You have an aura, which is nice, but it's kind of shitty for you because you have grunts. And then you have the ring of protection, which is super fucking good. But if you look at my heroes, I have circlet, claws, ring, medallion, one of the wind, and one of mana stealing. So I have fucking 7 items compared to your 2. Those 7 items are fucking massive at how much they help me creep.
Yeah.
So it's definite. You get fucked if you don't take advantage of like the linear progression. That's what this game is all about. I would say if you wanted me to give you an estimation on like what it's like for StarCraft leagues, because this game doesn't really have leagues, to go from like bronze to Masters League in Warcraft 3, you could do that all the way to Masters League. You could do that off of just linear progression and creeping, like understanding that concept.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then once you're like Masters League, then it really comes down to like knowing how to like take timings properly and attack and micro really well and all that kind of shit, all the little hidden shit you need to know, like, you know, more advanced techniques. But just getting to like an equivalent of Masters League in StarCraft, it's literally just maximizing hero time and like not wasting, not having a bad opener of build order, and also not wasting time with progression of how you creep.
Cool.
Yeah, just creep shit. That's easy, but also not too easy.
Yeah.
All right, man. Any questions about anything? And I also, like, last thing I'll say, sorry. Definitely write down what I just wrote down here. Like, copy this yourself and go all the way. Literally go all the way. I'll just hit play now really fast. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm just going to let you do it yourself. But, like, for this replay, literally go all the way to the end of it. Like, go all the way to, like, 11 minutes. To when I do an attack on your base. When I'm, like, level 5. Or basically do it until I stop creeping, essentially. Which was, like, right before I attacked you. Which actually, I think it was level 4. But, like, you'll just get an idea of, like, you know, like, oh, shit. Like, by 10 minutes, I should be at X amount if I'm playing efficient with creeping. And also know that each map is different, so... yeah. What someone said in chat is very true. Like, this map was a little bit faster paced than normal because this map has a healing well. So this was a bit of a speed boost in creeping. But maps that don't have a healing well, it'll be a little bit slower.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're like 5 minutes slower, that's way too fucking slow. When I say a little bit slower, I'm talking about like, maybe your timings would be like 1 minute delayed on a slower map. Because it's still not going to be that slow. The healing well just gave me like a free creep camp in the middle. That was like a nice juicy XP spot. But other maps won't have that. But I mean, if you have a Keeper of the Grove, if you have like Clarity Pots, and you have Trents that could just tank for you, that's also really good. All right, now,
Cool,
you have any other questions before we wrap it up?
I guess trying to get a better idea of what to focus fire in a fight with the other player.
So, what you'd
kind
want to
of,
do,
yeah.
what you'd want to do with this, you'd want to focus fire number 1. Priority number 1 is what is weak to the archer, and you can literally mouse over the pierce damage, and it says what it's good against. So piercing attacks do extra damage against unarmored units and light armor units, and they're weak against fortified, medium, and heroes. That's obviously number 1, where it's like, okay, well, if I fight anything that has unarmored or light, I'm gonna want to focus fire that. So things like a headhunter, or things like a shaman or a witch doctor, like any caster really at all, or things like any range unit usually have pierce armor, or light armor, which is weak to pierce. So the backline essentially is what's weak to archers. It's very rare when a frontline unit is going to have unarmored or light armor, which is really only like a fucking huntress. Because that's just the awkward one. Huntresses are unarmored, so they get fucked by archers. But also archers are medium armor, which gets fucked by huntress. So they both kind of counter each other. So that's number 1, what you should be kind of trying to focus fire if you can. But number 2 is really focus fire what is in the front. So if your opponent is not fully like diving on your army, he's not like on top of your archers with shit. If he's like kind of like you're both kind of just like concave against each other, just focus fire what's in the front, because you don't want to run into his army to shoot his backline. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that shit happens to me all the time.
Archers are super squishy, so your first objective would be shoot what's in the front, whatever's gonna be easy to kill, and if he starts to kind of like dive into you and you start trying to like pull one archer back at a time as he tries to focus fire them, you can then start shooting his squishier units as he dives into you and trying to micro against him that way. And just know, once you have like level 3 Keeper of the Grove with like an Alchemist, or even better, like a level 5 Keeper of the Grove with like a level 3 Alchemist, which means you should have a level 3 Entangling Roots with a level 2 Poison Cask. Like you should definitely like I would say get Treads first on Druid. Or not Druid. Get Treads first on the Keeper of the Grove, but then after that start prioritizing Entangling Roots, in my opinion. And then get Poison Cask first and get Healing Spray second. And that's how you should prioritize it. So level 3 Poison, level 2 Healing Spray at level 5 for Alchemist, level 3 Entangle, level 2 Trent for a Keeper at level 5. And you should definitely, at that point, you can focus fire almost anything you want. If you Poison Casket and you Entangle it, even if it's a hero, you're going to fucking destroy it. Like, it's going to take some damage.
Okay.
And it's going to be hard for them to deal with.
Awesome.
But yeah, man. I wish you the best of luck. Definitely look at the replay, use that as a guide, and yeah, man.
Yeah, thanks
Dude.
a lot, man.
Dude.
This was great.
Yeah, thanks for doing a lesson, and yeah, if you have any more questions, just feel free to ask in stream, and I'll try to answer shit if I read it. And yeah, good luck, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Take it easy, man.
Yeah, you too.
All right, guys. That has been a coaching lesson, and just to clarify one more time, this is my opinion of Warcraft 3. You don't have to play Warcraft 3 like a meta. Somebody was like, "Oh, I'm gonna play Orc exactly how Grubby plays. I'm gonna play Night Elf exactly how fuck I don't even know any Night Elf player. Mood, whatever. I'm gonna play Night Elf exactly how like a top level Night Elf plays. I'm gonna play Undead exactly how Happy plays. I'm gonna be human just like the Muslim." No, you don't have to fucking do that. Anyone who thinks you have to do that, guys, you can have a little bit more fun. I'm not gonna lie. You don't have to be that way if you're just wanting to play the game to have fun. And if you want to be a pro gamer, if your goal is to be top fucking 10 in the world on Warcraft 3 and you're gonna play in tournaments for Warcraft 3, by all means, don't watch my coaching videos, and you can do that. But so many people are so up their own ass about Warcraft 3, and I already know this video is gonna get comments just like this as well, where people are like, "This is fucking not right. This isn't how the top level Night Elf plays." And I'm going to be like, yeah, you know what? You're right. But I can guarantee you can be competitive as fuck on the ladder playing whatever style you want to play, as long as you understand the concept of the game, which is what we kind of talked about here. So I just want to clarify that, because I already know I'm not trying to teach people and say that this is literally what's going to make you a pro gamer at Warcraft 3. And if that's your goal, I mean, there's a lot more shit you're going to have to do yourself to be a pro gamer at this game. But if you just want to be competitive in ladder, 100%, this can get you there. If you want to be like someone who can like win games in ladder, this is definitely going to do that for you. Because this is literally how I play, and I fucking win on ladder probably like 80% of the time. So just know that that's how it works. This is my opinion of what the game is like. You can do anything you want in this game, really. Just have an idea as to what's efficient and try to do that. Don't be caught up in the little details of like, that's not the exact fucking pathing that Happy took in his Fiend build or whatever. People are so obsessed about that shit in Warcraft 3. But anyways, guys, I hope you liked it. I hope it made sense. I hope you learned something. And best of luck to you guys. In your own games, if you're going to apply this to your own games. And this is actually my first coaching lesson for Warcraft 3, so who knows, maybe I'll do more. We'll see if more people want to do it. But yeah, anyways, guys, I'm kind of rambling on here. Thank you for watching. Much appreciated. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, good luck, and peace out, guys. See ya.